everybody, welcome back to My Big Sister Podcast. My name is Grace and this is my big sister Josie.
Hello everyone, in today's episode we're going to be having a little bit of a catch up and we've got a lot of questions from you guys, so let's get into it.
Okay, so this week we're basically just going to have a little catch up, and we did also get some random questions from you guys, so we're going to put that all together. I feel like we haven't had a proper chance to catch up yet at the start of this season, so yeah, we're going to talk all about what happened on the brand trip I went on, which I was very scared for at the end of season 2, so we're going to talk about that. Josie also went away, and then as I said, go through your guys' questions, so I hope you enjoy and let's have a little catch up. Also, can I just say, the day that we're filming this on, it is a heat wave. I don't know what it is about UK weather. One day it will be boiling and one day it'll be raining the next day.
I don't know why you're wearing a jumper.
I don't know why I'm wearing a jumper either. It's very hot right now.
So much.
Yeah, and I feel like English houses just aren't built to deal with the heat.
No.
And my house is an old house, so it's really insulating.
And we can't have the aircon on because it is picking up in the mic.
We don't even have proper aircon. It's a little fan. We can't have the fan on because
and the lights I feel are making
hot.
everything hot.
Yeah, so apologise if we seem a bit hot and bothered this episode.
Yeah, and if I get a sweaty upper lip, please don't judge
Josie
me.
always goes on about having a sweaty upper lip.
It's really annoying. It's the bane of my life.
You know, that's one of my first memories of you in uni is you going on about your sweaty upper lip. And I remember I bought you blotting sheets for your birthday one year.
I love that it's just become my personality.
But then now that I'm the age probably you were then, I've noticed that I get a sweaty upper lip. It must be in the genetics, or when you hit a certain age,
thing, or I don't
you
know.
become
I'm
sweaty.
Going through the menopause.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
No, it's just,
anyway,
it's just really hot in here, guys.
Yeah, it is very hot in here. But yeah, we're going to talk about the brand trip I went on. Now, I feel like I could do a whole story time about this brand trip. It was the craziest 2 days of my life. I don't really know how to explain it, apart from it was the funnest holiday ever. But also, I was so anxious and worried about the flight. I kind of was fine on the way there because obviously, if you guys know me or have watched my vlogs before, you would know that I am very scared of flying. I had quite a traumatic flight at the end of last summer, and since then I've been too scared to fly, and this brand trip was the first time I'd flown since then. And I mean, if you go listen to the last episode of season 2, we were talking about it, how I was quite scared and worried about flying, especially with people I don't know. I
was gonna say, were you more worried because you were with people you didn't know who might not also know that you're scared of flying?
I think at first I was thinking about the flying mainly before. That's all I was kind of anxious or worried about. And then when it was getting nearer and nearer to the date of this brand trip, I actually realised I was going on a brand trip with people I don't know. And then I started worrying about that, and then that kind of took over from the flying thing. So yeah, I just was worried about a lot of things on that trip. But I got to the airport, I met the girls. There was half of us were all flying from Gatwick together, and then the other half were meeting us in Spain. And they were honestly the nicest people. I feel most of them were nearer to your age, Josie, so it kind of felt like they were my big sister, kind of looking after me. I think they could tell that I was nervous, so they were being, extra nice to me. But yeah, the flight there was okay, and then the flight back, I was quite nervous on the flight back, but I made it home, and I feel now this has proved to me that even if I'm worried, I know I can even if on the flight I will feel worried for those hours, I know that it's pretty safe to fly and I will be fine.
And once you were actually on the flight, did the anxiety get worse, or did it kind of ease because you were
No, it was worse. The whole flight I was nervous.
Because I feel with my anxiety, when I'm anxious about something, usually it's beforehand it's worse, and then when I'm actually doing it, I'm kind of just fine.
I think for me, when it comes to my flying anxiety, it's just I'm more scared beforehand of me feeling nervous on the plane. That's the thing, that's the bad thing about it, is how I feel on the plane. I just spiral and worry for those 3 hours, and literally imagine the worst case scenario for 3 hours. And every time there's a noise, or every time there's turbulence, or one of those little ding noises goes on with, when someone presses the help button, it goes ding. I'm like, what's happening? So
but
I'm very
hyper aware.
A wine water. Yeah. But honestly, the trip was amazing. I was very worried, as you guys probably could tell if you listened to that episode of season 2. But it was so fun, and the girls I met were all so nice, and it's definitely made me feel better about potentially if I get invited on another brand trip in the future. I think I feel much more at ease. And everyone was so nice, and because we all didn't know each other, it was we all kind of just there and we didn't know anyone, so it was kind of we all kind of bonded together in the fact that we didn't know anyone, and it was really nice. But yeah, I had such a good time, and I got so much good content. Did you see my pictures from the trip?
I was going to say, did you feel a lot of pressure to get all of the content, or was it because everyone else was already there to do the content.
Well,
it wasn't as bad.
It was actually so good because when I go on holiday, I normally just go with my family or my boyfriend, and I feel like it gets to a point where they're like, oh, why do you need another picture? And it like, you know, I can start annoying the people around me if I'm like, sorry, can we just do one more picture in this outfit? Oh, this location. Whereas
I've been there.
Yeah, people get annoyed.
Side of the camera.
But when I was on this brand trip, because obviously everyone there was influencers, and the brand that we were with obviously would like it if we got pictures in their clothes.
But that was the whole point of you being there, really.
Yeah. Everyone was so like, yeah, oh my god, of course, oh my god, yeah, do here, oh no, you should do that, like, and because we were all content creators, but obviously we all make slightly different content, it was like so good because everyone's different brains were like giving you ideas, and like, you know, I was telling people, oh, I'll make sure you get a video for your reel, like if they're taking pictures, and then I had my camera as well. I was like, make sure we get pictures on the camera for everyone. And then someone else, they might be a more like fitness account, and they were like, let's film in Pilates. And then someone else who posts more like food content, they were like, make sure you're filming your what I eat today, everyone. Like, it was so good because we were constantly reminded, and like it was good. Obviously it is like a work trip, so it wasn't the most like sit by the pool relaxing, like we were taking pictures a lot of the time, but it was so good in terms of like work content for me because I managed to get like so many good videos out of it. And I vlogged the whole trip. If anyone wants to see what I got up to, I vlogged the whole trip on my own YouTube channel. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. Like, I don't know why I was so nervous. I honestly had the best time, and everyone was so nice. Like, I don't know why I was worried that the girls might be like mean, or like, I feel like some influencers have the like connotations of like being like stuck up or rude, but honestly every single girl on that trip was so nice, and I would be friends with them. Like, they were all so lovely, so it was actually like nice and refreshing to like spend time with influencers who were all just like actually nice and like kind. But yeah, I was very happy with like all the content I got. Literally every single thing we did on the trip, I have like full videos from, which if you're a content creator, it's so useful to have like a 20-minute video from like Pilates, and then I can just use those clips like in so many future videos.
Because usually, like, I feel like it's actually quite annoying. I just see a lot of videos online of like people filming in their actual real life Pilates class.
Oh god, I could never do that.
Where there's like people who didn't sign up to be on the internet, and they're just there for their workout.
I know.
And they're just suddenly
this
there.
Is why it was so good on this trip, because it was all people that didn't mind like being on the camera. Whereas I feel like normally when I see people like filming, I was in the gym the other day. Me and Josie joined a new gym a few months ago. We've actually been going for quite a few months now. I'm pretty proud of us for keeping up with going. But I was in the gym by myself, and I was in the changing rooms, and there was a girl filming a TikTok.
In the changing rooms?
And I don't know
so bad.
if it's just our gym or just all gyms are like this, but people are like getting changed. People don't
like,
have any clothes on, like in front of everyone.
Completely naked.
Yeah, and like, you know, doing whatever they want to do. And this girl was, I heard, you know, the 3, 2, 1 sound on TikTok.
Yeah.
I heard that, and I was like looking around like, who is filming a TikTok right now? And then I saw her, and she was kind of like in a corner, but I was like, if someone's like walking to the shower behind you, or like, I just felt like really uncomfortable. And I feel like some people, no offense to influencers, but a lot of influencers like feel like they can film in public.
And they're like, I've seen a lot of people commenting saying, well, it's a public space, so I should be allowed to film whatever I want in a public space.
Actually not a public space if it's a gym that you pay to get in. Like, that's a private, that's owned by someone. Like,
or even if it's like outside, sometimes they'll say like, oh, well, a security camera can see you, so why can't I film you? But it's like, when it's a security camera, it's not going to end up on the internet, probably. Yeah. It's just a random security guy looking at it, not like the whole internet.
I keep seeing this account keeps coming up on my For You page, and it's this guy. It's quite cute, the videos. The first few, I just watched them and I was like, that's cute. Where he like goes to like a like farmer's market in America, and he like buys stuff from the stalls that don't have a queue, so he's like supporting the ones that aren't getting many sales. And the videos were really cute at first when I was watching them, and I was reading the comments, and he was like, someone said like he records these on his Meta glasses, like, and people don't know. And then I started looking, and I could tell actually that the quality like was filmed on like those Meta Ray-Bans. And then I started seeing other TikToks of people, like there was a guy on TikTok that like goes and asks girls for their number in public, and like proves how easy it is to get girls' number,
and then uploads
and then this girl made a video like, I had no idea that was recorded. We went through the whole interaction. He had glasses on. I thought they were just his glasses. And now it's been posted on the internet.
Because you don't know someone's history. Like, they could be in witness protection. Like, they could be hiding.
Or just,
Like, you don't know. Like, they could be in, like, a domestic violence situation. They could be, like, you know, they could have a stalker. You just don't know someone's situation.
Yeah, it is really scary. And now whenever I'm in the gym, whenever I'm in, like, the sauna, I'm always looking, like, if the men have glasses on. That's That's probably just me being paranoid. But like
it's those things to keep an eye on.
You have to know what, like, everyone go Google what those glasses
They've
look like.
Got like
keep
little
an eye
circles in the corner, so you can kind of
tell. Like if you know
can
what you're
see.
looking for, you could probably notice. But if someone's just far away, like, you're not gonna be able to tell.
Or
if
if you're not
glasses.
thinking about it, you would just.
But it's scary
glasses.
because like you could just walk through like the changing room at our gym and film everyone without any clothes on, and no one would know. Like, it's very scary.
I saw this TikTok of this girl who was like sort of ranting, like she was in her car and she was like, I've just come out of Pilates and I'm really annoyed, I had to move because this lady was filming. And then like I found the point of view of the woman. I found the account of the woman who was
like
filming.
Arguing.
No, like the woman had uploaded the video where the woman walked away.
Oh, I hate
like,
when people
they
record like Karen interactions and it's like,
no, but they never actually had the argument in real life. The girl uploaded the video complaining about it afterwards, and all that happened in real life was she just like walked away from the camera, and you can see that in the video.
She just moved,
and it's like this whole interaction just happened online. But if in real life the girl had just said, do you mind not filming me? Like, can you not film? Then it would have been a lot less awkward.
Yeah, it's like very like a weird dynamic because it's like in some ways I understand, like as an influencer, if you're someone that films like day in the life, it makes sense that you want to get a clip of you doing your exercise.
I just think the minute someone else comes into the frame, you need to not include that.
But it's like all the like gym influencers, they're always filming in the gym, and it's basically impossible to not have anyone in the background because unless you're going to like an empty gym. So I always think with those, I'm like, oh, it's a bit awkward, isn't it? And even if like they asked you and you said, oh sorry, can you not post that, I would still find it weird that they've got a video of me in their phone like working out. Like even if they don't post it publicly there and then, it's like, I don't want someone having a video of me working out.
I know, it's really
in
weird.
like tight clothes.
I've had so much gym anxiety in the past, and I still kind of do. Like I'm okay in like a fitness class now, I'm completely fine, but in the actual gym I still don't like it. So just the thought of like someone potentially filming me just adds like a whole other layer of anxiety onto it.
I know,
because I'm already thinking like, oh, is my form good? Like, do I know what I'm doing? Like, what's going on? And like the fact
the
that
potential of like going viral for having a bad form in the background.
Because you always see that people commenting like, look at her form,
look
at
that
person
guy in the background.
She doesn't know what she's doing. That's like my worst fear.
Honestly, it's kind of scary. And when that happened in the changing rooms, I was like, oh gosh, like thank God I wasn't getting changed in the background. But I didn't go up to her. I probably should have, but like, it's just like,
I think next time if you see that, just call it out, because it's not okay. Not that it's your responsibility, but still, like,
it's just scary. And I feel like most gyms and stuff, like in their like terms and conditions, it says no filming, like
especially in a changing room. Like that's so dodgy.
But yeah, I feel like I don't really know how I feel about like a workout class. Like if someone doesn't get anyone else in it, but then I would still feel like if the girl next to me had their phone out, even if they're filming them, it's like you're not sure if the back camera is also filming. Like, because some phones you can film on the front and back at the same time. So I'd be worried that they'd be like filming me.
Or if there's like a mirror and you didn't know if you're like in the reflection of the mirror.
Because I always see that, like so many influencers, I'm like looking at their video from their workout class and I'm like, did you ask everyone? Like, it's just a bit awkward, isn't it? I think... but it's tricky because it's like if they are a gym influencer and say it's like a brand deal and the brands ask them to film in the gym.
Then I think they should pay for a membership where they know they
gym.
can be private,
or like a
book
private
out a
room
like somewhere, or just have your own at-home gym.
There are like PTs that have like private gyms where like you're the only one in there when you have your session, so that I guess would be better. But yeah, it's interesting. But yeah, the round trip was great because we were all pretty happy to be on camera. But again, like it is a bit awkward because like we were all on a boat in bikinis and like everyone was getting in the background of everyone's, and it's a bit like, oh, I don't always like love all these angles. Maybe that wasn't posted of me on the trip, but I think at that point it's kind of just like, did everyone kind of like check with each other if they were okay to post it if you're in the background? Like a few pictures I had of like the girls in bikinis, I just checked like, are you okay if I post this on my story? But on a brand trip like that, it is a bit harder to kind of like double check with every single person that might be in it. But I feel like you're all kind of unanimously like, you assume that everyone's kind of fine with it. But yeah, it was I feel like good. I'd be stressed if I was like wearing a bikini and everyone was taking photos and I knew that they'd be posted. They might be in the background. Like, yeah, I think it can be a bit like awkward, but I mean, all the girls were so nice, and I'm sure if they did ever post something, they would take it down. And like, they would know what is like a bad photo, and they probably wouldn't post it. Nice. But it was really nice to like go on a trip with people that kind of understood and like weren't like, oh, not for picture. Like, it was nice to actually, like, we all, like, were like, come on, let's do it together. Like, let's, every person got a picture, and then we, like, alternated everyone's phone, making sure everyone got content in, like, the right spot. And then at the end of the trip, we all made, like, a shared iCloud album, and we, like, added all the pictures that everyone had took, which was so good, because there was some things of, like, a picture of the boat that, like, I didn't take, but it is like, oh, we'll just share, and, like, I can borrow your picture of the boat, because, you know, we're on the same trip. So if it's something like I forgot to take a picture of, it was nice that we all had.
I feel like everyone should do that for every holiday.
Yeah,
like, everyone who's on the holiday
I've
should
never
make
really done
thing.
an iCloud album, because I always assume it's, like, bad quality, but actually they were pretty good
quality.
quality.
I usually do it because, well, my husband annoyingly has an Android phone, so he can't do iCloud, but we do, like, a Google Photos album when we have a holiday, and then I kind of, like, steal, because he takes photos of me. Obviously, I'm not taking photos of me.
The little candles,
so I want, like, all of those.
I feel like for me, though, I just always airdrop. Like, I'm an airdrop stan. Like, I would just, at the end of each day of a holiday, I'm like, airdrop me everything, because I feel like airdrop is the number one Android quality. But yeah, if you're it's a
nightmare. I've been campaigning for years to get him to get an iPhone.
You should just.
I think he might be on the brink of getting one.
Because does he use, like, a MacBook? Because it's so much easier when
That's
you have
what I told him.
An iPhone and a MacBook, because then you can just airdrop and everything. I think airdrop is, like, the main reason I have Apple everything. Because how, like, when we film this podcast, behind the scenes here, we film the little close-ups. You see this in my face right here? We film that on phone, and then I airdrop that clip to my laptop to edit it on, because it's way quicker than, like, doing it, like, by, like, wires or whatever. And if we didn't have an Apple laptop or phone, we wouldn't be able to do that. I don't know how you'd do it. You'd have to, like, upload it to Dropbox or something, or use a cable. I don't even know. I love airdrop. It's my favorite thing. Although I keep seeing people say that if you're in public and someone airdrops you something, like, if, say, you're, like, at a bar, and, like, apparently there's this, like, scam where people at a bar, like, maybe, like, a boy, like, if you're, like, single and, like, chatting up to someone, they might, like, take a selfie, and then the boy will ask to send it to you on airdrop, and he'll send it to you. But apparently you can airdrop viruses.
Oh.
And I saw on TikTok someone's phone had, like
hack
been hacked. Yeah, and they kept noticing their phone was just, like, acting weird, and, like, they were, like, their battery was running out really fast, and, like, just weird things kept popping up on their phone, and they were like, what's happened? And they remembered that, like, this stranger had airdropped them something, and then they were Googling it, and it is a thing. They can airdrop
scary,
like, viruses onto your phone. So everyone be careful.
Don't just let randos in a bar airdrop
even if you think
you.
it's just a photo, like, just get them to, like, send it to you on text rather than airdrop, because apparently you can airdrop viruses.
That's dodgy.
I don't know how true that is, but I'm definitely very worried. And also it makes sense why Apple made it so, like, it's only everyone for 10 minutes on airdrop. So maybe that is why. Maybe they knew that was a problem.
Another update. I've got glasses now.
Yeah, look at Josie's glasses, everyone.
But I'm not wearing them because they reflect weirdly in the light. So these are my glasses.
I've never had glasses. I don't really understand what happens. Like, do you need to wear those all the time, or do you need to just wear them when you're reading? Like,
no,
what's the situation?
So they actually said don't wear them all the time, because my eyes could get lazy if I wear them all the time.
Like, used to it.
Because they're like, then they get used to it, and then they're not strong enough anymore. So I don't have a very strong prescription. It was just, I just was noticing weird things, like when I go into shopping centres, like, I feel weird. I don't know how to explain it, but it turns out I have astigmatism in my eye. Is
that when you're driving at night and the lights look like that?
Yeah.
Because I feel like that happens to me when I drive at night.
Maybe you should get your eyes checked. When did you last get your eyes checked?
Years ago, like, before lockdown, I think.
Yeah, you should probably get them checked.
But I can see, like,
but I also see. Yeah, but I can see. But I thought I could see.
And now you have them, it's like
I was looking at, I was going like this, like up and down, like taking them on and off, like comparing things. And I was looking at my dog's fur. Because that's like
Winnie, you're like...
Because that's like a very detailed thing to look at. And I suddenly realised that I can see, like, every little bit of fur on her with the glasses on.
So it is about detail. It's not just about, like, light.
And before I couldn't. So that's good. But the problem with these are they've put the blue light filter in, and I really don't like it. So I think I'm going to get them to take it out. It's like my whole eye's like blue.
Do they need to, like, remake the whole lens, or is it just like a thing inside?
I think they can do it for free though. But I don't like it. It's turned everything a weird colour.
But it is meant to help, isn't it? Like, if you have headaches after staring at a screen too long.
I think so, but you can also just now, on screens, you can just change the setting.
Put it on orange mode, yeah.
So I just think there's probably not much point.
Yeah, they are very blue.
To make the whole world, like, a different colour all the time, like, is there any point?
Maybe you can have like a less severe one. I don't know.
Maybe. And also sometimes when I look at bright lights, I can see like this blue like blob next to it. So wouldn't recommend getting blue light glasses if you actually need your glasses.
Yeah, I feel like I should go for an eye test, but then I'm kind of just scared that they would give me glasses, so.
But why are you scared?
Because I don't really want glasses. I feel like it would really annoy me.
I like
it.
But
like our dad has contacts and he has his whole life. And our other sister Daisy, she's meant to have glasses.
Would you be scared of sticking?
Oh, I would not do the contacts. Yeah.
I would.
Have you seen those videos of people where like they have like 100 stuck behind their eye? Like, because they get stuck, like they get lost.
They have 100.
Yeah, people. Well, I don't know about 100, but there was like, I don't know where I've seen this picture, whether it was like an X-ray or something, where like someone had like so many like behind their eye, because like if it gets lost and you forget, and it's like.
But how would you forget? Like, surely you put them in that morning, and like where have they gone?
Well, I think people like think they must have taken them out because they can't find them,
and then they like sleep, and then it just disappears.
Yeah, well, it's like when people with the tampons and that thing you can get from tampons, just gives me that energy. Like you just forget. So I think I would not be good enough at remembering to do the contacts.
Yeah, at least with glasses, like.
Did they offer you contacts?
I don't know if you can get contacts with what I have, and
because your eyes are a funny shape, so you can't get the contacts that fit them. I think that's a thing.
No, I think maybe you can, but because I don't need it all day, there's no point.
Yeah.
I basically just need it when my eyes get tired, but
yeah.
So that's my glasses.
I think they look quite cool.
Yeah, I feel like
the shape.
I feel like a different person. Like I'm like a sophisticated lady.
You look smart. Like
I look like I work in like an office, and like
you look like a kind of the cool art auntie more.
Oh,
that vibe.
Auntie.
No, like the cool auntie.
Yeah,
like the artsy like lives in Brighton auntie.
Like, but that would be if they were like a bright colour. If they were like bright red.
Like orange, yeah.
Or orange, like.
But they're a similar shape to like what sunglasses you pick, isn't it? Is like, yeah. You do that on purpose.
Well, I don't know. I just kind of liked them. I tried on like. It took me so long to decide because it's quite a lot of pressure, and the man was sort of standing there like, kind of being like, yeah, like trying to help me, but he was sort of making me feel stressed, and I was like, this is an important decision. Like, I'm gonna have these glasses for a long time. I need to make sure they're the right ones. Well. Yeah, so I think I picked well, but it is quite weird. It's like I'm living like a new life where I wear glasses.
It's weird because we have like, I would say our faces basically look the same, but we wear very different sunglasses. Like you suit big ones, whereas I always
wear like tiny ones. Thin, no, but I think you have a small head compared to me.
Do you think?
I have a big head. Either one.
I don't know what. I have a big forehead, but so do you.
No, you have a small forehead.
No, we.
Oh well, then I have a huge forehead. As a family,
we have a big. How many fingers is your forehead?
Like 4.
4. Okay, mine's 4 and a bit.
No, your forehead's a lot smaller than mine.
Because people say if you've got like a 5 head, that's like 5 fingers. That's like big. If you're just 4, that's
but also, doesn't it depend how big your fingers are?
Yeah, I suppose. But I guess it's like in proportion to your body. How big's your forehead?
Anyway,
I don't know. Well, people in school used to tell me I had a big forehead. That was like
That's
a thing.
Mean. You don't have a big forehead. Yeah, I do.
It was like a running joke along a group of boys at school that I had a big forehead. So maybe it's just a complex I have. But yeah, I like thin glasses, and I don't really know if they make proper glasses like in the shape of the sunglasses I wear. Like I can't really. I guess I like the little Miu Miu ones. You know those ones that everyone loves.
Well,
like
I used to think that I like, you know, because there was the small glasses trend, and I tried them on, and I looked like a child. I looked like, you know, when like little toddlers get glasses and they have those really tiny ones. That's what I looked like. It was so weird. So I definitely prefer like big ones. But yeah.
Anyway, you should probably take them off because it's going to start annoying people watching if they've got the blue lights on. You also went away when it was like a similar week that I went away. You went to Italy. How was it?
Yeah, it was good.
I'm very jealous because I feel like Italy is the place that I like the best in the world, but I never go. Why
do you never go?
Because I feel like because our family loves going to Greece, so we always just end up going to Greece if we're going somewhere like on a sunny holiday. There actually was hardly
any British people there. I've noticed that I think Italy is for like Americans and Australians, and like hardly any British people go there. I don't know why.
I think because the flights are slightly more expensive than to Greece or to Spain, so I think generally British people go
it's
to
just
Spain
slightly
or Greece.
further, or
I don't know why
is it
they
even
are. Maybe
further?
because there's less flights.
Yeah.
I don't know, but whenever I look, or just like the hotels as well, like everything seems a bit more expensive in Italy than going to Greece or Spain. And I feel like
I don't agree with that though. Like the cost of how much everything was quite cheap, like food especially. Like we got a massive giant pizza for €6.
Yeah, that's really
and
good.
that's like
I
standard
feel like
price.
most places in Europe are fairly well, they're cheaper than England for eating out, like even Spain or Greece. But when it comes to whenever I look on like holiday websites, but if you're booking like a package holiday, I feel like it is more expensive to go to Italy. I don't know why.
Yeah, well maybe there's just less package options. We just picked like a random Airbnb and then just like random flights.
What was the best food you had in Italy? Because I feel like that is the thing. Like, I feel like when I travel for food.
Yeah.
Like, I feel
that's
like
what I did as well.
I just don't understand how people don't do that, because I'm like, it's like one of the main kind of sensory parts of a trip is like what you're eating and drinking. So I always pick places that are going to have good food and drink.
So we went to this restaurant. You won't like this because you're a vegan, obviously. We went to this restaurant where like pretty much everything they sold was just all anchovies.
Oh.
Like fresh anchovies, tinned anchovies, anchovy oil, and we got like a 3-course meal that was just like everything was anchovy themed. I feel like it was so good.
I used to get confused and think anchovy wasn't a fish.
What did you think it was?
I used to think it was like a caper.
No.
Not that I ever would buy them. Like, if I bought it, I would realise it's a fish, obviously.
It looks quite like a fish.
But I feel like in every recipe where there's anchovies, there's also capers, and I always just thought, like, I don't like either of those things, so, like, I never would buy them. And then, like, you know, like in a Caesar salad, it's, like, the same vibe thing.
The ones you get in a tin are very, very strong and very salty. So I think a lot of people, because they're the ones you get on a pizza, and I think a lot of people think that that's what anchovies are, but actually,
it's just
when
fish,
you get them fresh,
yeah,
they're just a fish. And they're so good.
I like capers now. I used to not like them, but now I like appreciate their
They're
flavour
quite good when you're
things.
vegan, because they add a bit of a fishiness.
Yeah, like when you're making like Caesar salad or like certain salads, like I feel like it's good, like crushed up, put in the salad dressing.
Yeah.
And
the pizzas obviously were just amazing.
Did you have pasta? What was like the best pasta?
Yeah, I had pasta. I had I think I had a cacio e pepe, which is just my favourite pasta. It's so good.
When I was the last time I went to Italy, I was not veggie or vegan, and I was like 13, and the best thing that I ate in terms of pasta was just lasagna, and I would get that every restaurant, because I feel like in Italy it hits different.
I had this thing that was like, they had this whole side of the menu that was just things to dip in bread, and they made a pot that was just like meatball sauce and meatball and it.
But
and
is that more like American bread. Italian? Is that, or is that like authentic Italian?
I think it came from Italy, and then the Americans like took it over.
But yeah, I feel like it just depends on like the vibe you want for your trip, because sometimes I love an all-inclusive holiday when I just want a week to like not think and just relax and like switch off, because you don't have to think, where am I going for dinner? Do I need to book a table?
Yeah, that's true.
Is there vegan options? Whatever. I just know that every night I'm having the same food every night. But then sometimes it's nice to like have the choice and to have something to like change every day. And like,
I think I just get bored, so I need to change it up.
I think when it comes to me, because I'm vegan, like the all-inclusive food, you do get bored of it. Like normally there's not that many options, so by the end of like a week I'm getting pretty bored. But I feel like if you did eat meat and like were open to trying more stuff, then you might not get as bored. But yeah, for a place like Italy, I feel like I would want to try all the like proper authentic restaurants.
It's also quite good for vegans, because they have like the pizzas without cheese, and a lot of their like classic pasta dishes don't have cheese in them.
Yeah, like just like tomato pasta. Yeah, I just love tomato pasta. I could eat that every day.
Well, that's like, they're great.
I really want to go to Italy, but I just never really get round to it. But I want to go back.
And they have you can get like lemon sorbet and a giant lemon. They have these lemons that are literally like as big as your head, and they put lemon sorbet in it. And I had one, and it was really good.
I want to go. I feel like if anyone listening to this is vegan or knows any good vegan place in Italy, please let me know like what cities are like the best for vegan food in Italy, because I feel like there will be options, but yeah, I want to see where's good, so let me know in the Spotify comments or YouTube comments if anyone's listening. Okay, now enough about our trips, because we may have just bored everyone for the past half an hour, but let's go on to some questions from you guys. I asked for just some general catch-up questions on Instagram. If you do want to be involved in asking us questions, follow us on Instagram at mybigsisterpodcast. We are also on TikTok if you want to just see clips, and then also we do have an email address if you want a more like longer dilemma, or you don't want it to be like linked to your Instagram account or anything, then you can email us at mybigsisterpodcast@gmail.com. Okay, someone said, how did you move to London? I'm looking at it in the future but aren't sure where to start with jobs, areas, houses, etc. I feel like London is the most like overwhelming place, and if you've never been, or like even me, like I feel like there's so many areas where I literally don't even know what it's like, and I feel like it's taken me years, like since I was at uni, to actually even understand, like when people would be like, oh, North London or like East London, like that used to have no meaning to me, whereas now I'm like, okay, I actually understand like the different areas and like what it all means. But I feel like if you have no idea, it can be so like overwhelming, and you literally have no idea where to start.
I feel like London, there's always like trends of what areas are popular.
Like trendy, yeah.
It's usually starts off with what areas are cheaper. So that used to be East London, like Shoreditch, but then that became really trendy because
once
then
everyone goes there,
when it was like the artists and like creative people moved to the cheap area, and then it becomes gentrified,
the whole area.
And then now East London is like super fancy,
and it's really bad because like the people that grew up there now can't afford to buy a house in the place that they grew up, because all these people have come in and like made the house prices so much.
And then I feel like the same thing happened with Clapham. It used to be like where all the Aussies would go,
and like West, and then
and now it's more like Peckham.
Well, and I feel like originally
Dalston.
like the like arty people would go to like Camden, but then now that's just fully like a
that was
tourist
like in the
area.
90s,
yeah, now that's just like you would not people must live in Camden, but like I wouldn't choose to live in Camden just because of how busy that whole area around the station is.
So I feel like it was north, then it was east, and now it's south. It's never going to be west,
well,
because no one can afford to live in west.
But maybe like years ago they could, like surely at some point people like were living in west because it was cheap. But basically, if you are listening to this and you have like no idea, should we give a little like overview of what our pros and cons are of like north, east, south, and west? Okay, so let's start with, we can start with North. To be honest, I don't really go to North London that much. I don't really have that much info. The main things I think of when I think of North London are Wembley. I used to spend a lot of time in Wembley when my friends lived there when I was at uni. And I feel like Wembley is becoming like gentrified, like the whole area around the stadium is like where all these new build flats are, and it's probably quite a cheap place to maybe live.
Yeah, I think when I think of North, I think of Islington and all of that area. It was really
like it was
just really like expensive. So, but then I've never really been beyond that. So I don't really know what
Watford, Wembley, and then central North. You've got like Hampstead Heath, like and like Camden, I guess, is kind of north, and like those kind of places.
But most people wouldn't be able to afford.
I feel like we don't know north as well, because when we were growing up, we lived nearer to South London, so like we don't know North London as well.
And then east, I know quite well because I lived
in East.
I lived just off Mare Street for like 2 years. I think I lived in London in total for like 3 years, so I didn't really live there for that long, but I think I lived there long enough to like get to know the area, and I did really love living there. But this was in like 2015 to like 2017.
You were like the classic like hipster, like millennial. You just are like a millennial hipster in Hackney, like. Yeah,
I was living my best life, but
looking back, it's a bit cringe. But I'll let you
Hey,
off.
It's not cringe. It wasn't cringe at the time.
Yeah.
And now everyone's like all nostalgic about how millennials were all like happy in like 2015.
I see these videos on TikTok where it's like, I used to work for BuzzFeed in Hackney, and I'd buy a Chanel bag for £5, and my rent was £2 a week.
I don't know about the Chanel bag for £5, but I definitely did work somewhere like BuzzFeed.
Yeah, I feel like my dream as a kid was like to work for BuzzFeed because it looks so fun, but now like all the stuff that's come out about it is like, oh, actually that doesn't look that fun to me anymore.
Yeah.
And then if you're going like more East London, then it's like towards like Kent and like Essex, and it probably is a bit cheaper that way. And it has quite good transport links because you've got like the Elizabeth line now going into Essex. But I feel like for me, it's not really, although they do have good vegan food in East London. I feel like it's the vegan place to go.
I do miss certain things about it, like I miss the food, and there was just sort of an atmosphere about it. I don't know whether it's the same anymore or if everyone's now moved south.
And then South London, there's lots of different areas in South London. I feel like what I mainly know is like around like Clapham and like Wandsworth. And then you kind of going into West there with like Chelsea, Fulham area. I feel like those areas are all really nice, but it's so expensive that like it's basically impossible to live there.
Yeah.
And like Battersea, I feel like that's the place to go. I feel like all the influencers live in Battersea.
Do they?
Yeah, everyone I know that's an influencer that lives in London, they all live in Battersea.
Is it because there's lots of apartments there?
Yeah, they all go on runs in Battersea Park. They all go to like Clapham Common for park run. Like they're all in these run clubs. It is like a very, you know, specific group of people that all love. And like if you're in that vibe, then it would be a great place to live. But I feel like for me, I would be a bit scared. And like I feel like all those run clubs. Did you know? Apparently, I keep seeing this on TikTok, but I have not fact checked. Apparently, those run clubs in London, you have to pay to be in it.
I don't know. It depends what. I think some
Because I'm like park run, you don't have to pay.
No,
but
I feel like that
apparently
kind of
these
goes
run
against
clubs-
the spirit of a run club.
I thought the whole point is that they're, you know, like park run, like you're just running. And
or they're usually like sponsored by a brand a lot of the time, then they're just doing it for free for like marketing.
yeah, have you seen the viral clips of the there was like this acai company that did a run club and they made a video of like what's your running ick? Have you seen that on TikTok?
No.
Oh my god, and everyone was basically, it was like what's your running ick? And then all the people at the run club were so like mean. It really scared me. Like someone was like, oh, my running ick is if they've got a shitty New Balance trainer on. And then someone else was like, if they've got a vest for a 5K, or like if they were just like being quite mean. Like, and it was, and everyone in the comments was like, what run club is this? So I can never go to this one because this seems terrifying. Like they were all being like so like judgy, and I was like, oh my god, I'm not a runner, but that's made me terrified to ever go to a run club.
It's so stupid because running is literally just you wear some trainers and you run, and that's all it should be.
And it's just silly because that lady's saying like New Balance, but I swear like New Balance do make running trainers.
Yeah, they do.
And even if you were just wearing like Converse, like if that's all you have, it's better than not going. Like if you want to go on a run, just go in whatever shoes you have. Like I don't know why all this judgment is.
Anyway, so yeah, that's east.
That's what I'm thinking of south is these judgy run clubs, but that is not all that there is in South London. But
some parts of South, like they're quite family friendly. Like
there's a lot of like green spaces.
Southeast a bit more. There's a lot more. Yeah, it sort of feels less like London. It feels more a bit like suburban.
Yeah, and then obviously West London, that is like the most generally expensive part of London, where it's like Chelsea, Kensington,
and then even further out you've got like Kingston and
like
Richmond.
I would love to live in Richmond.
Expensive.
Richmond is like the dream. I feel like whenever I go there, I'm just like, wow, like it feels like a village
so
almost,
expensive.
But it's very very expensive. Like I feel like that's where all the celebrities live.
Yeah.
But I think in general, when it comes to London, like if you literally have no idea where to start, I would say don't look for a property like to rent or buy if you're buying in zone 1, because I feel like it will be unless you have loads of money, go ahead, but like I feel like zone 1 basically, when the tube map, there's like the different zones, and zone 1's the middle, and then it's like zone 2,
also,
zone 3,
who even
zone
lives
4.
in zone 1? Like I would imagine there's not very strong sense of community in zone 1.
Yeah, because zone 1 is
there?
like central,
so
like all
random.
the tourist spots are in zone 1. So I would say like look a bit further out, try and find somewhere that has like some green spaces, look at maybe like the crime rate, because there are some areas in London that are like, you know, you might not feel safe alone at night as a woman, and there's some areas that are more like family friendly.
Go to them as well, like spend some time at different times of the day, like
like if you can afford to like stay in Airbnb or a hostel in like the areas you're thinking about, and like test them out and see what you like, because
somewhere might feel safe in the day, but then at night time it might not feel so safe.
And also I feel like in London sometimes I actually feel safer when it's busier, like because if it's an area where you're like, oh, it's really quiet at night, but then it's like kind of scary because I would worry if something was to happen, like there's no one around. Whereas,
that's why I never wanted to live like right next to a park. I don't know why, it just scares me, the thought of having to like walk through a park by yourself at night. It feels a bit dodgy.
Whereas sometimes I might feel a bit safer if I am more in a tourist area, because at least there's people around, but then in tourist areas you have people stealing phones and stuff like that, so it's a very hard balance.
It's tricky,
and I feel like no area is perfect, and you kind of just have to work it out.
That's part of it.
Also based on what you can afford, because London is so crazy expensive that you might not be able to live in a safe area, and that's really like rubbish. And
also you might think you can afford an area, and then you go there and then you're like, oh yeah, there's a few places I can afford, and then you go to those places and you find out it's like the dodgiest street in maybe a nice area, but that particular street is like super dodgy.
And also you've got to think like if there's stuff locally, like if there's no supermarkets nearby and you've got to be doing all your grocery shopping in like a little Sainsbury's local, that's really expensive. It's like, it's not just the cost of the rent, it's like things nearby. And like, say you drive, is there parking? Is it expensive to drive around there? Are you in like the whatever zone it is where you have to pay if you have a petrol car? Like all these things.
And if you have to get the tube or a bus every single day, don't just think like, oh, 20-minute walk, that's fine. Like actually think about, could you do that every single day? Is that going to really annoy you or not? But luckily transport is quite good in London. So
yeah, like I would say London is a very walkable city, but I am also
what
quite
if it's
lazy,
raining one
and
day?
yeah, if it's raining and cold and you live half an hour walk from the tube, you're probably, if it was me, I would end up getting a taxi to the tube, and then that's going to add up very, very quickly.
Yeah.
So I think,
or someone's going to have to give you a lift, and they'll probably get annoyed.
But yeah, I would say just do as much research as you can and just try and find. And I feel like for me, it would be, I'd rather live in a safe area in like a smaller property than in a big place, but it's like you're not feeling very safe.
Yeah. And I've heard Croydon is quite good these days.
You know, I watch a lot of public transport videos, and Croydon's the only place in London with trams, and I would like to go there. You know, Croydon is where the Ori Mart is. Do you see that?
The what?
Do you know about Ori Mart? You're so behind with these TikTok trends, Josie.
What?
Did you watch The Apprentice this year?
No.
Okay, well, there was a lady on The
My
Apprentice.
My TV doesn't connect to the UK TV because it's an Australian TV.
Okay, I'll let you off. But there's this like viral Asian supermarket called Ori Mart in Croydon, and then the owner, she was like viral before she went on The Apprentice, and then she went on The Apprentice, and now she has like Ori Bubbles, like a bubble tea shop, and it's all in Croydon, and it's quite funny because like people travel all the way to London, and then they like to go to this shop, and then they don't realise Croydon's actually quite far away from like central London. I have to go to Croydon to get there.
I've just been hearing lots of people saying they're moving to Croydon, like a few of my friends are going to move there and stuff.
In my head, Croydon is not the best area.
I know, but I think it's getting better.
Maybe Croydon's the place to go. Yeah. I mean, I'm not sure about that, but maybe do research. Also, on that question, they said where to start with jobs. I feel like that is so overwhelming. But luckily, London, like, you're in a good place if you need a job. Like, London's going to have a lot more jobs than any other city in the UK. So, but again, it is so hard to find a job. And, like, to find a job that will pay enough to pay London rent prices is kind of crazy. Like,
I think it can help because there's so many people applying for like the same job. I think networking, I know it's like hard and scary, especially if especially if you've never like done that before, or you're like just starting out in your career, but just try and go to like if it's just like a random event, just try and find anything that's like hosted. If you're living
in London, it's so easy to go to any
and maybe
of these
get someone
things.
Just get a friend or someone to come with you if you're scared of going by yourself, and just try and like meet people. People
are way more likely to hire you if they've like met you in person before, and it's bad and it shouldn't be that way, but it's like a lot of the time it's just done based on people you know, or like if they like you as a person. So I feel like just trying to meet as many people as possible, whether it's not just like work events, even just like going to the pub, making new friends, like someone that you meet might work at a company that's got, you know, a space. I know a lot of
things happen in London.
A lot of companies like in London, like I don't know, I think it's like the financial companies, like a lot of the banks, their employees will get like a finder's fee for like finding someone that's got the right experience to like get them a job, so that you know there might be people looking to find a job, and like they have an interest in you getting a job at their company because then they'll get a bonus.
So if you work in a particular area, like if you know that there's a big company that you want to work for, maybe just go to a pub near the office.
Or like a coffee shop. And
that sounds a bit stalkery, but
I think you've got to put yourself out there. But yeah, I think just trying to like talk to as many people as possible, which is really, really scary, and I would be terrified. But just try and like if you've got friends that might work in a company, go with them to their after work drinks. Just try and make friends. If you live with flatmates, where do they work? Try and like
messaging people on LinkedIn if you have met them before in real life.
Ask them to go for a coffee and I think in London it definitely helps to know as many kind of types of people as possible. But also saying that the job market is just really terrible at the moment in the UK, and like it is really hard to find a job. So I would definitely say if you are thinking of moving to London, try and do your research, and like even you could potentially try and have a job lined up before you move, because it can be pretty stressful if you're trying to pay rent and find a job at the same time. So definitely if you haven't got a job, like try and make sure you have some savings to pay your rent for the first few months, because sometimes it's not as easy as you think to get a job straight away.
A lot of like estate agents won't even let you
have a rental unless you've got a job, or you have to pay like so many months up front. But yeah, that's will be our tips for London. Okay, we're going to do one more question because I'm getting overheated right now in this jumper. Someone said how to handle uni decisions. Which uni, move out or stay home, what course? And we did do a whole episode about uni in season 1. I feel like I'm always saying this in the podcast, so I'm like, refer back to this episode. But if you do want a whole hour of us talking about this, go listen to that episode. But I would say when it comes to uni, it's similar to what we were talking about with moving to London. Just do as much research as possible. Don't just go somewhere because it's got good nights out. Like, actually think about the fact you're going to be moving to that town potentially for 3 years of your life, and something that you're picking at 17, you're still going to be dealing with those decision consequences at like 22 or 23, and really think like, will I be happy in this place? Do you think I'm going to make friends? Like, potentially, am I, do I want to maybe go to a uni where someone I know is going, so then I've got a friend? And it can be really hard to like figure out where you want to go. I mean, for me, I did a gap year because I wasn't sure, and that did help me decide what I wanted to do. And in my gap year, I decided I actually wanted to stay at home and I didn't want to like move out to halls.
I feel like COVID kind of influenced that as well.
Yeah, definitely. But I would just say definitely go to every uni if you can. If you're living in the same country that you're applying to unis in, go and visit them if you can. Try and like stay overnight, like even with your friends, maybe if you can take a friend and like go on a night out in that city, like, because some people love nights out and that's like their main reason for going to uni. And if you end up going to a uni, like for example, I have some friends that went to Bath, it was really bad for a night out. And if you're someone that loves a night out, it's like now you live in this town where actually there's not that much to do. And the same again, like there's some people that hate nights out, so maybe pick a more quieted like town to go to uni in.
I think I would also say don't necessarily just go to the same ones that your friends are going to.
Yeah, definitely.
And don't feel like if all your friends are going to one and you're not, don't feel like you're going to get left behind or like you have to, because you will be surprised at how quickly you'll make new friends. And also, even if your friends go to the same uni as you, they're probably not doing the same course, most likely.
They
might not even be living in the same halls, because there's so many different reasons why people pick different halls. It's quite unlikely that you'll be like seeing them often. So like obviously you'll see them on nights out and stuff, but it's just not the same.
And I think sometimes it can make friendships, it can kind of cause friendships to not be as good if you are at the same uni, because you might like run in different circles, and then it can be like this awkward thing of like, now I've got these new friends and like I want to hang out with them, but then my other friend, maybe you don't really love the people they've made friends with, and it can be a bit awkward. So I feel like sometimes it's better to have a bit of distance from your home friends, and then you're gonna miss them, and then when you do see them, it's like a fun time. Whereas sometimes it can be a bit like, oh, I see them all the time and like we're not really that close anymore, and it can be a bit kind of like awkward.
And then it means the friends that you do keep from home are the ones that are the actual legit friends.
Yeah, you know that if you're missing them and you're like planning to hang out with them, then you actually do miss them, and they're like your true friends. But yeah, I would say just think as much as you can. Like, it is a big commitment, and if you're not sure about going or not going, definitely think that through a lot, because I think it's so like underestimated how much like of a commitment it is. You're committing to have a student debt of like up to like 50 or 60,000 pounds, and I know student debt, like people see it as like not a real debt, but it is. And when you're earning money in a job, you're gonna have to pay it back every month. It's like an extra tax on your life, and if you're hoping to be earning enough money in your job to be paying it back, then it is a lot of money coming out of your paycheck every month. So it is a thing to think about, and like it is 3 years of your life, and you've got to think, yes, I might enjoy it in first year when it's partying and the grades don't matter, but am I going to be enjoying this in second year and third year when I'm like quite a bit older and like maybe not going out as much and like really stressed from the exams? So I think just really thinking it through, and go listen to our uni episode if you want to hear more on our opinions on uni. Okay, that is all the questions we have time for. I'm melting right now.
We need to put the fan back on.
So we're gonna love you and leave you. I hope you guys really enjoyed this episode. Make sure you're following the Instagram at mybigsisterpodcast. We hit 1,000 followers on there in our little break between the seasons, so I was very happy with that. I hope you're all doing really well. My personal accounts are all at Grace Tutty. Josie, what are yours?
Josie B Tutty on Instagram and Josie Violet on YouTube.
Yeah, and you've got into the knitting vlogs.
Yeah, I've been posting lots of knitting videos
I feel
lately.
like the podcast has heard your whole knitting journey, because in one episode in season 1 you were like, I've started knitting, and now it's like you've rebranded as like a knitting YouTuber basically.
I'm obsessed
with knitting. Yeah. But yeah, I hope you're all having a really good week. We will see you next Wednesday for another episode. Bye.